country that this world has ever seen.
What up, what up,
Hey,
what up?
hey.
What's going on, America? How's everybody doing today? Sorry, I was just finishing a text.
Wow. That's rude to be on your phone while you're talking to people.
I was talking to Marjorie Taylor Greene, man. You can't, ignore her. Like, just writing her back. There's Pete Hegseth, by the way, too. Everybody's texting me this morning. I'm sorry.
Mr. Popular, I got a
I'm
text
not
from my
Mr.
friend
Popular.
earlier today.
I was, anyway, okay. All right. So, how's everybody doing today? Sorry, what an awkward way to open the segment.
Welcome back to video.
Welcome back to video. We've had a lot of we've had a lot of conversations with YouTube, and we have agreed to give it another shot. And so, anyway, if you used to watch on YouTube, we will be back on there. We're working on.
You can see me.
You'll be able to see Zach. It occurs to me, most people probably don't know what you look like.
I don't think they do.
You should start. We should start like a gimmick with you. Like we should. I don't know.
Should I Photoshop something like put something? Like
you
a
always
face
have
over
on
mine or
like
something?
shades or something like that.
Oh, should I go grab my sunglasses?
No, well, it's too late now.
late.
You're on this, but
We could wait to show myself until now.
you should superimpose shades on your face.
Ooh, the gangster ones.
The gangster ones. You know why you do it. Anyway, so I'm excited. YouTube has always been kind of ugh, and I still think it's ugh. Sorry, YouTube, but we're gonna give it another shot because so many of you have been writing. It's less about YouTube and more about you guys. We get so many emails every day with you guys. Begging is a strong word, but it's a real word. Really wanting the show to get back on video so you guys can listen and watch, because apparently you like to see us while we speak as well. So welcome back. I have to get back in the habit of remembering to look at the camera when I'm talking directly. But either way, it'll be interesting to be back.
It'll be fun.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. So last night, I always like to open with a story
Okay.
about my children, of whom I love dearly. But sometimes,
So you're like that pastor that always uses their kids? As
no,
like a sermon illustration?
I don't always.
Okay.
Nope, this ain't no sermon demonstration. This is just a straight up. Sometimes, as a parent, you just want to, there's a famous scene from Mr. and Miss Smith with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. I know you hadn't seen it, Zach. Don't worry. And they're in like a couples counseling, and he's like, "I love my wife, I do, but sometimes." You just want to string. Well, that's how I am with my children sometimes. Anyway, so last night, the unthinkable happened. The literal end of the world for children in today's society happened. It was an apocalyptic event that you would have thought they saw the pits of hell itself opening up from outside the door.
What tragedy is this?
A storm happened and knocked the electricity out in the home. And it was a bad one. And we had no electricity, no air. It's the middle of July here. I almost said June. It's the middle of July. And it occurred to me, my children have never been without power before.
Wait, really?
No, it's never happened. In the entirety of their lives, the power's never gone out.
I always liked it when the power went out as a kid. It was kind of fun.
So did I. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, all right, buckle up. It's going to be a thing. I'm like, this is a perfect time to nap and just sit here because there's nothing else to do. I have never seen three individuals. Well, actually four. My wife, Alyssa, didn't do well either. She's just as bad as the kids.
Alyssa.
She's like, I'm sitting there on the bed trying to lay down. It's like 5 o'clock when it happens. Electricity doesn't come back on until 10. So it's a 5-hour ordeal. My children have like the fan on at night when they sleep, and I'll give it to them. It was like 78 up in the house. Like it was getting up there. I mean, I'm not lying. It wasn't comfortable by any means.
No, don't like that.
But these kids, man, like it just reminded me, oh, wow, you have no idea what it's like not to have constant stimulation all the time. And Alyssa was just as bad. She was like, we got to do something. I can't just sit here. Like, let's go walk the dogs. What? I don't want to go walk the dogs. I didn't get home till 6:30 last night. Anyway, and so no, 5:30. Yeah, because that's when electricity went out. Either way, point is, it was excruciating. We start playing cards by candlelight, which you think would be this great memory as a kid. Maybe they'll remember it, maybe they won't. There was actually a lot more like yelling than there was anything else, because they all bicker at each other because they accuse the other ones of cheating all the time at cards and all that stuff. We are a very, very competitive
If you
family.
don't yell at cards, you're not. If you don't yell while you're playing cards, you're not playing right.
Exactly. There's three types of families in the world. There's families that don't play games. There's families that, we all just want to have fun and participate, and there's no winners, and there's no this. We just want to spend time together. And then there's my family, which we're there to win it. And it don't matter if you're the dad, the kid, you love each other. Nope, not when cards are being played, buddy. There is no love, no family ties, no nothing. And
there's nothing worse than losing to a family member in a game of cards.
Correct. And all three of my children are the same way, but they're like little tyrannical dictators because they're children and they have not learned to control that aspect of their personalities at the same time. And so they're three little tyrants running around like screaming at each other. And so, I only lost my temper twice and a half in the 5 hour ordeal that was the power outage of 22 that it will forever be known. But it just, I don't know. That's my story.
Sounds like it'd make like a good episode. It's like a reality TV show.
I don't know if it would or not. We would, I don't know.
With some good editing, it could be funny.
Maybe. But either way, that was my little story last night. And so I'd had a long night the day before because I took my middle son. I had this great idea in my head that I was going to let both my sons pick like an adventure that just they got to go on. So without their sibling, because I got 3 kids, right? They're always with each other all the time. And I encourage all you parents out there, try this out. There gets an age where you gotta separate them at some point and give them something.
Yeah, they're all individuals.
Yeah, you got to give them some individuals. And so, Gage, of course, wants to go deep sea fishing. So I already told you guys that story. And then Gunner, man, my kids couldn't be polar opposite. Gunner doesn't give a crap about fishing, none of that stuff. Sports, Gunner's all about it, baby. And so Gunner wanted to go to a professional baseball game. So we ended up going to a Braves game. It's his first time there. Hot as you can imagine.
Oh, I'm sure.
But, I had to do it right. So, we got the place where we, have the suite or whatever. And so it wasn't.
Rub it in.
No,
I'm joking.
I'm admitting he got to see it, but he didn't get like the real experience of like sitting in the nosebleeds, just baking in the sun, dying, heat casualties everywhere, like that kind of stuff. But he got to see it, and it was cool. He got to see two homers in the first.
Hey,
it was really cool. Anyway, all right, I'll quit rambling about my family, but been trying to do a lot of things with the kids a lot more lately, and yeah, kids are awesome. Anyway, all right. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Is there any particular big, major, explosive thing that we're going to talk about? No. We're going to talk about a lot of random, stupid things across the board.
Ooh,
and it's going to be a lot of fun today. So I'm excited about today's episode, and I think you guys are going to like it too. Because there's just a lot. There's a lot of things to talk about. But before we do any of that, we got to get into a sponsor. All right, guys, Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile are charging you a premium fee every month for data you don't use. Stop paying for things that you do not use. Instead of paying $89 a month for your current provider, pay just $20 to Pure Talk for what you actually need. I made the switch from AT&T, and I'll be honest, I was a little nervous at first. But the service has been impeccable with Pure Talk. And better than that, Pure Talk respects our values. Stop giving money to companies that spit in the face of your values every single day. Stop paying greedy wireless companies. Instead, support my guys at Pure Talk, a company whose customer service is based in Georgia, just 2 hours away from me. A company whose CEO was a U.S. veteran and a company who shares your values. Go to puretalk.com, select a plan, then enter the promo code GRAHAM, that's GRAHAM, and save 50% off your first month. You can literally be switched over to Pure Talk service in less than 10 minutes. Go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code GRAHAM now. All right, up next, Gavin Newsom.
Our favorite.
Yeah, one of my favorite governors, man. I mean, let's
have him on the show.
It is Ron DeSantis, and then freaking Gavin Newsom is like a solid 1B at this point. So he already made waves because he made this ad basically telling everybody that lives in Florida and Texas to move to California, where freedom actually exists. As he said, this lunatic actually expects us to believe that California is free. There are still places locked down in California right now. I mean, it is the most unfree state. It's worse than DC. Either way.
I also like paying $7 for my gas.
He said, if you're lucky, he said in that video to choose freedom, the freedom to love, he's talking about gay marriage, and the freedom to choose, he's talking about abortion. Very nice wordplay, I will say. But California is a communist state. It's a communist dictatorship state. It's horrible, but that's not why he's in the news today. No. Gavin Newsom was caught vacationing in Montana. But the interesting thing about that is, like, I don't blame him for wanting to vacation in Montana. Montana's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to move to Montana, but Alyssa talked me out of it and pulled marital rank because she does not like the cold. And so either way,
it'd be a good place for a studio.
Yeah, I
think so.
I think so too. But anyway, I don't blame the guy for going to Montana. But this is the interesting part. The big issue is that he banned all state government travel to Montana over Montana's LGBTQ rights. And yet he's there. In fact, the New York Post is reporting California Governor Gavin Newsom enjoys Montana vacation despite LGBTQ state travel ban. So in other words, here is another example of these megalomaniacal lunatics. Those are people with God complexes.
Pretty much, yeah.
For everybody. You know how I learned that word? Slipknot. The band Slipknot. He says megalomaniacal. Anyway, and I learned that through there. But either way, the point is, California's Governor Gavin Newsom is the epitome of a dictator. Do as I say, not as I do. So ain't nobody else in the state government allowed to take vacations to these certain places. And then imagine that for 5 seconds. Okay, I realize you work for the state government. But then to tell people you're not allowed to go places like that, think about that for 5 seconds. Where we are in America, there is a governor who believes they have the authority and the ability to tell people you can't go places. And I realize he's only talking about for state travel and all this other stuff. Still, like, that is so un-American. Like the whole part, everything about the you can't do that thing, or
it goes against everything we believe in.
It goes against everything. In fact, America was born and founded on flipping the middle finger to people saying we can't do stuff. But move to California because they have actual freedom in California. like his video said the other day, which is just hilarious to me that this is even happening right on the heels of all of that. All right, moving on. All right, we got to talk about my boys at Black Rifle Coffee, man. And this is not like a promo ad, but this, yes, they're sponsors of the show, but New York Post reported on this just this morning. So check this out. The Cowboys, that's right, the Dallas Cowboys are slammed for their Black Rifle Coffee deal in the wake of Highland Park shooting. All right, so basically there is, and we're going to have Evan Hafer, the founder of Black Rifle Coffee, on tomorrow to talk about this. But basically, Black Rifle Coffee now is headquartered in Texas. It was started in Utah, but now it's headquartered in Texas. They apparently have been working on this deal with the Dallas Cowboys for a long time, and it was supposed to launch on Independence Day. The whole point is America's team, which is the Dallas Cowboys, or at least they claim it to be.
And America's Coffee.
And America's Coffee. Thank you, Zach.
You're welcome. So I'm here.
Great marketing, great branding, great partnership. Makes a lot of sense. But a lot of woke individuals are now like lashing out at the Dallas Cowboys because it happened on Independence Day, the same time that, of course, we talked about the horror on the 4th, which was the multiple mass shootings that occurred on July 4th. Shut up. Just shut up. People who say, wow, great timing, one person said, do you really think that they come up with these probably multi-million-dollar partnership deals that day? You think they just strung it together that day and said, you know what? Now's the perfect time. No, this thing's been in the works for months, probably, maybe even years for all we know. This is Dallas Cowboys, for God's sakes. But the point I'm trying to make is, why does everything have to be Black Rifle Coffee? And it's always personal to me. I take a lot of heat supporting Black Rifle because there's all these false narratives about Black Rifle on there because the truth of the matter is they made it.
Yeah.
They made it, and they got a bunch of haters because they made it. I know these guys personally. I know them personally. We have walked through the fire together for the past 7, almost 8 years. They get pulled into this political spectrum as a company because of what individuals in the company may support, may not support, all this other kind of stuff. And here's my thing. Black Rifle Coffee's not paying for your abortions. Black Rifle Coffee's not protesting, I don't know. Black Rifle Coffee's not shoving LGBTQ woke agendas down your throat. The stories about them, as far as the leadership goes, being woke Democrat, like, I don't know, like moles or whatever it is, like trying to like sabotage the conservatives or whatever. That's just insanity. And then, like Jared said when we had him on the show a couple months ago, he was like, dude, you know, we've got hundreds upon hundreds of employees. What if some of them voted Democrat? Are we supposed to fire them because they vote Democrat? And if they vote Democrat, does that make us a left company at that point? The answer is no. Like, we as conservatives, we're doing the very same, we're trying to do the very thing to Black Rifle Coffee that we get so mad at the left for doing.
When you have a company that big, you can't, and also it's very un-American to control people's votes.
Exactly. Like, wouldn't it be anti-American to go in the interview, like say, okay, I'm going to interview for Black Rifle Coffee. And they're like, they literally sponsored this show. I mean, you know, think about that for 5 seconds. Okay. You think the Dallas Cowboys are doing a deal with me? No. Okay. But Black Rifle sponsors us. They also sponsor Joe Rogan. Okay, Joe Rogan just came out the other day and said that he ain't putting Trump on his show because he don't want to help the guy. I don't like that. But I also like some other things Joe Rogan says, but there's a lot of things Joe Rogan says that I don't like. Last election cycle, he was on the Bernie Sanders train. So do I agree with everything Joe Rogan says? No. Did I stand with Joe Rogan when Spotify and all these people were trying to cancel him? Yes, I did. And Black Rifle doubled down on advertisements for Joe Rogan during that time frame. And again, they sponsor this show. And we're as conservative and to the, a lot of people think far right as you can get. But yet here we are. Shut up about things that you don't understand, man. And again, imagine you go to interview for a job at Black Rifle and they're like, what party do you vote for? You know how illegal that is? like, do you have any idea? And then what are they supposed to do? Fire people when they find out they vote Democrat within their... Then you might as well take out every other pro-America company you can find too. Your Nine Lines, your Grunt Styles, your all these people, right? Okay, you really think that everybody that works there votes Republicans? You're an idiot. That's not how it works. And it does. It gets to a point, sometimes I get defensive on it because I know these people personally. And none of you have any idea what you're talking about. None of you. Because it's so easy to just punch at people that you know you're never going to have to interact with ever. But I know these guys personally, and we're having Evan on the show tomorrow to talk about this very thing from his own mouth. I'm excited to hear about it because, that's what you do. You find out those things. And we've had Evan on the show and debunked all those myths that you guys keep bringing up all the time. They've all been proven false. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. And the biggest thing is the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff. And I will respect Black Rifle's decision. Everybody wanted Black Rifle to sponsor Kyle Rittenhouse when the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing first happened, and Kyle Rittenhouse was wearing a Black Rifle shirt in a photo. Everybody was like, Black Rifle, you need to sponsor Kyle right now, da-da-da-da-da. And their answer was simply, no, we're not sponsoring a 17-year-old kid that's going through the worst tragedy of his life, because what would happen would be, okay, we could sponsor him, but then we would make millions upon millions of dollars because we sponsored him. That would be us profiting off of a child that just had his entire life ripped upside down. That makes a lot of sense to me, and honestly shows a lot of maturity and a lot of moral compass on my part, because I know a lot of coffee companies that for dang sure took advantage of the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, and they may have helped Kyle a little bit financially, but they got a lot more on the upside of it, which would be called profiting off, blood money, all this other kind of stuff you want to call it. Either way. We'll let Evan talk about that tomorrow, but it gets on my nerves, man. I mean, how can you say that this show does the right stuff and Black Rifle's this evil company when they sponsor this? I promise you Black Rifle takes some hits from their big national chains that they're in, like QT's and Kroger's and all this other stuff. I promise you those big people ain't happy that they sponsor shows like mine, but they still do it. You know what's never good? When your nation's supposed authority on economic policy completely misses the flashing red lights of impending inflation. Now, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has finally admitted there have been unanticipated and large shocks to the economy that have boosted energy and food prices, and supply bottlenecks that affected our economy badly that I didn't at the time fully understand. Well, Janet, who did understand, that would be real Americans and the people who invested in gold and silver with Birch Gold Group. They're protecting your savings from a highly turbulent economy by diversifying their 401k or IRA into gold, physical gold. And it's not too late for you to take action now. Text the word Graham, that's GRAHAM, to 989898 and get a free info kit on diversifying and protecting your savings with precious metals. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews, and thousands of satisfied customers. Text the word Graham, that's GRAHAM, to 989898 for a free, no obligation info kit now. All right. We got a lot more today. All right. Check this out. By the way, my boy Chris Pratt killing it on Amazon Prime right now. The Terminal List, his new show, is the number one show on Amazon. Hit the applause for my buddy Chris Pratt, The Terminal List. Jack Carr wrote this book. You see a lot of 5.11 gear in this. You see a lot of Black Rifle gear in this show. This show and SEAL Team are doing it right, man. SEAL Team, you'll see 9/12 gear in that show. I mean, and it's just amazing to me. However, media critics are thrashing the show. In fact, right now, it's on the critics side. It's got a 37% approval Rotten Tomatoes rating from the critics.
What's the audience score?
However, the audience score is a 93% certified fresh score. So you have to ask yourself, why a 60-point discrepancy? Well, the simple answer is this is a anti-woke male vibrato show that the left would call toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity. Ew.
If you look at it right now, we got two back-to-back hitters right this second. So you got Top Gun Maverick, and now you got The Terminal List. Two big production things that have gone against the current cycle of this woke mob nonsense, right? And in the middle of it, you had the Lightyear movie. So Top Gun, Top Gun Maverick soars to over $1 billion in the box office. Tom Cruise's biggest movie ever. And it is pro-America, baby. It is pro-manhood. Just,
fantastic movie.
It is an amazing film. Then you got Lightyear, which is this LGBTQ woke agenda pushed down people's throats, literally to infinity and beyond. That's how many genders they think there are. Just bombs. Worst Pixar movie launch possibly ever. And then you got Terminal List now, which is back to the pro-America, that super elite spy-esque show. Gruff men doing things, anti-woke nonsense, and it soars to the top. So what does it tell us? Well, it tells us that the movie industry, Hollywood, doesn't care about you. They don't actually care about making good movies. They just care about propaganda machines. That's all they care about. They don't care about entertainment. They don't care about making good films. They care about making woke films because that's where all their money comes from. But there are a select few that are choosing to do it another way. And the best way that we can help them is with our money and our viewership to prove that we're tired of the woke nonsense that's going on. So to my boy Chris Pratt, to Jack Carr, to the Black Rifle team, the 5.11 team, everybody I know that was involved in making this, go watch Terminal List right now and keep it at number one, soaring on Amazon, because that is how you beat it. All right. So this article is called Riddle Me This. And this is a very disturbed woman who goes on a rampage trying to describe what she is. And it's amazing to me how many of these people that want you to identify them the correct way and all this other kind of stuff, they don't in fact know how to describe it either. And as she speaks more and more and more, it becomes this riddle / math equation almost. Like it is, it's a lot. And so anyway, here's the clip of this young person.
Okay, everyone's really confused, so I'm going to explain this. I am non-binary, and I call myself bi and gay and queer. Those are all terms I use for myself. I say bi to, help people understand that I'm interested in, all people, people that have the same gender as myself and people who have a different gender as myself.
Okay.
But no matter who I'm dating, I'm always gay because I'm not cis, and I'm not a boy or a girl, so it's gay. Does that help?
Nope.
No.
I typically almost, exclusively go for other trans people. So
they're
like the
trans.
fact that my boyfriend is trans, like we call each other boyfriends. Like
Wait a minute. If you're trans male, isn't that a girl trying to be a boy?
I think so.
So is her boyfriend just a girl?
And
So
it's just a lesbian relationship.
wouldn't she be a lesbian? And then the girl is now a boy, so they're trying to have, I guess, like a heterosexual relationship, but it's not a boy, it's a girl, guy,
Is it gay straight?
girl. I wonder if the trans male girl only likes women, which would mean she's a gay woman pretending to be a straight man.
I'm confused.
his boyfriend too. He's my we're boyfriends.
They're boyfriends. They're boyfriends. So the girl is a girl that's gay that is a dude or identifying as a dude and is dating a girl that is transgender as a male that likes girls. So it's a girl who is attempting to be a straight male dating a woman that identifies as a man. So it's a gay, transgender, female, homosexual man dating a lesbian woman identifying as a man.
You have to remember, Graham, we don't have degrees, so we can't understand this because we're not a part of academia.
It's so much. like I told you, this is the song that doesn't end. It's the riddle that never ends. Please comment below. I'm trying to understand because it doesn't make any sense. I got nothing. Riddle me that. All right, we have recently had some huge wins for truth in the American family. It feels like the pendulum may be swinging back to that time of great American values, and the center of that change has to be the family, your family. Ronald Reagan once said, all great change in America starts at the dinner table. There's no company doing more to help you bring your family and friends to the table than Good Ranchers. Good Ranchers delivers a 100% American meat experience to your door. They guarantee you meat that is born, raised, and harvested here in the U.S. so that you know where it comes from and who you are supporting. You're already buying meat, so why not buy in the way that strengthens the American farm? Your country and taste buds will thank you. Not only that, I personally eat it all the time. It is a mainstay at my house, and we use it and eat it just about every single day. Make sure to use my code GRAHAM, that's GRAHAM, to get $30 off your order. Plus, get free express shipping. You can make gatherings at the table common again with Good Ranchers. Take advantage of this offer before it's gone. Go to goodranchers.com/Graham to start bringing people to the table, creating change in America, and eating seriously delicious food from Good Ranchers. Okay. Next, I'm going to play a compilation. Okay. And this is a compilation of people. Some of it's taken from the 4th of July. Some of it's taken other times. And there is this major thing to start discrediting our American flag, our big, beautiful stars and stripes, the true symbol of freedom. Okay. I've said it once, I've said it again. You can go to 912united.com and get your If This Flag Offends You, Move t-shirt, because these are the people that are running around society right now. This video that you're fixing to see, wow, it's just shocking. And those of you who are listening, you'll be able to listen to it. But here we go. This is a compilation of a lot of people who have a serious problem with our American flag.
My 4-year-old just came up to me and asked if she could play with my Dumbo Trump flag. And I said, my Dumbo Trump flag? I don't have one of those. And yeah, she calls him Dumbo. I just never corrected her. And she goes, yeah, you do. This one.
That's the American flag.
And I feel like it's kind of profound. Did he ruin the flag for anybody else?
No.
Just me?
I'm 46, and when I turned 50 and my husband is all better, we plan on moving out of this country and somewhere else in the world.
Good.
No idea where yet, just
Go to China.
not here. So my question is there a place we can move that people would be happy to have us, that we're not gentrifying or colonizing?
Nobody likes you.
Is there a way to do this?
Get out.
I don't want to be a problem, but I need to get the this country.
If you woke up in a mood today, you put on your red, white, and blue, please go buy a gallon of gasoline, pour it on yourself, and then light the because what the
Wow.
At this point in my life, a pickup truck with an American flag attached to the back, speeding down a street, gives me pause, and I look for safety.
Don't come to South Carolina.
There's nothing like leaving America to remind you that you are traumatized.
Traumatized.
I'm in Spain right now.
Uh-huh.
And
Spain. Oh, that's great.
Being here has only made it more obvious.
You're in the touristy part of Spain.
I move through my everyday life in America as someone who expects aggression when I enter a space, and someone who expects.
So you're a racist. This is about white people.
Harm.
I was driving around yesterday with my husband, and we kept seeing American flags everywhere for 4th of July. And am I the only one that Trump has ruined the flag for? Because now I just see American flags and go, oh yeah, those are probably
Get
Am I
out.
the only one that like looks at American flags and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like someone just came on the beach with American flag chair. And they're giving me a very like Trumpy vibes. Anything American flag is like very Trumpy now, and I'm just like, I can't
Get out.
with any of it.
No one's making you stay.
I'm at the point with this country that like all this 4th of July decorations doesn't sit well with me, because we're at a point where the American flag on any piece of anything, hanging from your house, on your shirt, hanging from your car, on a sticker on your car, whatever, it looks racist. Like the fact that it
Okay, shut up. I've said it once. I'll say it again. The red, white, and blue American flag symbolizes freedom. Freedom for you all to be rambling morons. Freedom for you to even hate it. But I'm a bit more petty than that. So if this flag, our American flag, offends you so much, then move.
Yeah.
Get out. We don't need you, nor do we want you here. Maybe you're right. Maybe America is an acquired taste and it's a certain type of person. Look, man, Cat Williams said it best. We're Americans, and it's a symbol to the rest of the world, the American flag, that we're better than you. And we know it. That's the whole point. We're Americans. This is America. We have the greatest country in the world, and you should not be afraid to admit that and shove it down the throats of every other country that we are better than, because this is America. Get out. Get out. We don't need you. We don't want you here, and leave if America is so bad. But the only reason you're able to say those things is because you live in America, which is the paradox of stupid that is all of you. If our flag offends you, move. All right, moving on. So the Biden administration sent shockwaves, and I'm actually using the Occupy Democrats page. So this is a Democrat-leaning page. So they're praising this action, but I wanted to read it from you from the lips of the other side. Okay, it says, breaking: Biden's Justice Department sues Arizona to block a law that would force citizens to provide proof of citizenship every time they go to vote in federal elections. They claim because it's a textbook violation of the National Voter Registration Act. So I have two questions. One, if this is true, if it's a direct violation of the Voter Registration Act, why is that a law? Why is it a law that you can't require people to prove that they actually are citizens more specifically that they actually live in the area that they're voting, why is that even a law in the first place? Of course you should have to. Of course you should have to. You should have to prove that you live there.
For sure.
You could vote in multiple districts in multiple voting locations in the same day. What are we talking about? That is the only logical way to certify our elections and fraud proof our elections moving forward, whether you believe it was stolen or you don't. What rational human is anti-proving you are who you are when you go vote? You got to prove you are who you are when you buy a beer. You got to prove you are who you are when you buy tickets and then you go to the event. You got to prove you're the same person. I got to prove I am who I am to pay a bill. They won't even let me pay a bill unless I can prove who I am. I'm wanting to give you money. What random person is trying to take over somebody else's bill? But you still have to prove you are who you are in everything but voting, apparently. And then my second question is this. What other reason could there be for not wanting a state to require proof of you are who you are to vote, unless there was some reason that you wanted people not to have to prove that they are who they are to vote? Again, I'm just asking a question for all the fact checkers and all the censors out there. I'm not stating that the Democrats want to cheat in the election. I'm not stating that. I'm just asking a question. What logical reason could there be for you not to want proof of identification to be able to vote?
But we can't ask questions.
But you're not allowed to ask that because thems would be against the rules, and that would be wrong. All right. Speaking of Biden, and then we've got one more thing, which I think is very encouraging because it's a self-own from the left. But real quick, we have to talk about Biden's major win in the war against the soaring gas prices crippling our country across the world. So not too long ago, Biden, in an attempt to help America, took out 5 million barrels from our reserves of oil. In an amazing tactical move to lower the gas prices. I mean, talk about a guy that is truly just super...
He's here for us Americans.
Super focused, right? Super focused. One, the fact we're having to tap into the reserves in the first place, horrific. But at least he's thinking about American families, the food on your table, your ability to go to work, your children's education, all this stuff. He's thinking about all the right things because we got to get this gas price lowered. And Joe Biden is on the task, releasing 5 million barrels of our U.S. oil reserves to help tackle this rising inflation cost of gasoline. However, those 5 million barrels somehow ended up in Europe and Asia, which would be China, and not here.
Wow.
The Washington Times, all right? I'm not making this up. This is real life here, okay? Whether you view this as a conspiracy or not, Washington Times, Biden sends 5 million barrels of U.S. oil to Europe and Asia despite soaring gas prices. This incompetent buffoon, while you're literally having to pay money to go to work, this dude sends 5 million barrels of oil to other countries. What?
It's like they're trying to screw us over.
Are you kidding me? And then for the fact checkers out there to be like, oh, this, he also, because this is what you fact checkers will do. Oh, well, he also at the same time did release barrels of oil to help combat the U.S. gas prices. I don't give a crap. Why are you sending oil when your own American citizens are crippled at the pump, Why would you send oil to other countries when your own citizens need help? This is the thing. Like, where's the 10% for the big guy? Where's all this other stuff? Why would you do these things? What kind of a moron would send 5 million barrels of oil to other countries when your own country has the highest gas prices ever in the history of America? You're either the dumbest human that has ever held the office, which is very possible, the most senile person to have ever held the office of presidency, which is also very possible, or you're doing it on purpose. I'm not saying which one it is. You guys can comment below and let me know what you think. But there's really no other. There's no other thing. And so anyway, President of the United States, ladies and gentlemen. So our last thing, and I'm going to end it on a good note, because this whole thing's been about really stupid people, but I'm going to end it on a good note. So Roe v. Wade not only saved the lives or the future lives of millions upon millions of American babies, right? Did the Roe v. Wade decision also fix the nuclear family? More specifically, did Roe v. Wade just end hookup culture? I think that it might have. So in a email correspondence with a lot of people, there were these feminist women or whatever. And, you know, we can pop the thing up right here so you can see it, but I'm going to read it to you verbatim what these people had to say. So this is, these are leftist women that have finally discovered traditional marital values in a way to stick it to us men, because we took away their right to murder babies. This is their real thing, Zach. Here we go.
All right.
Me and some of my girlfriends did a retreat this weekend to help us cope with the monumental setback in fundamental rights. By the end of it, we have moved from sad and afraid to angry. We all agreed to a pact, no having sex with any men until they had proven themselves a capable provider, and until that man has signed a contract written on paper agreeing to stay with us and support us if we get pregnant. We started drafting an actual contract, and we're planning on sending it to a lawyer to make sure it's legit. At this point, I am completely done with men who want to hook up and leave. It's high time for American men to step up.
Good, you finally are done with trash men.
You know
Good
what?
For you.
But you know what they just discovered? That's called getting married.
That's called looking for a guy with actually
you
value.
literally have to go to a courthouse and sign documents, and a priest has to be a witness that you two are going to stay together through sickness and in health, through richer or poorer, till death do you part. You just discovered the thing that we've had for forever called the nuclear family. One man, one woman, married to each other. If you get pregnant, you're called parents, mom and dad. The kids raised with a mom and a dad, the nuclear family, which is proven to be lasting efforts to better humans in society for the rest of their lives. DSM-5, psychology manuals, etc. You just discovered marriage.
Wow.
You can't make it up. You can't make it up. Good for Roe v. Wade being overturned. Another applause to the justices. Another applause. Not only did you just save millions of babies' lives, you also just helped these feminist women remember what marriage actually is. And God bless you for it. That's all we have for this episode of the Dear America podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Hey, if you guys really want to support us, go to 912united.com and get our shirt. If this flag offends you, move. It helps us. Oh, and you also can start supporting us now by going to grahamallen.com/give. You can make a monthly or a one-time donation. Your money helps us in our efforts. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again next time.